Wouldn't it be great if teachers could get the time and the money to make their own videos, telling us about their ideas on teaching and learning, and then get them shown on Teachers TV? Well, that's what we've been doing, and today you're going to see the results. Teacher Video presents a new opportunity to reflect on teaching and learning and support continuing professional development. It's embraced by the primary school teachers joining me in the studio here today. Firstly, let me introduce Tim Taylor from Tuxwood Community First School in Norfolk. Tim is currently on secondment as a primary strategy consultant. Hi, Tim.
Hi.
And from Reefham Primary School in Norfolk, we have music teacher Lucy Kerr.
Hello.
Hello, Lucy. And finally, Sarah Trenier, a class teacher from Lanna Primary School in Cornwall.
Hello.
Tim, Lucy and Sarah have brought along their videos to show us, and we'll be discussing the content and use of video to record learning. Firstly, we're going to look at Tim's video called Using Drama for Learning. Then we turn to music and another teacher video called Music All Around, produced by Lucy. Finally, we look at Sarah's video called Peer Assessment in the Primary School and find out how this works and what the children in her school think of it. Viewing the videos with us and joining in the discussion are two colleagues who have been involved in the Teacher Video project. Adrienne Jones, who is an independent education consultant involved in new media.
Hello.
And Dr. Richard Hatcher from the University of Central England, who's been looking at how Teacher Video can be used for CPD.
Hello.
Well, first we're going to look at using drama for learning. And Tim, perhaps you can tell me a little bit about the school and also the aim of the video.
Well, the school's in the centre of Norwich. It's a first school, which is reception to Year 3. And the purpose of the video was to try and capture the learning that happens during our drama lesson.
Right.
Particularly when the children are either in or outside of role.
OK. Well, let's look now at using drama for learning from Tuxwood Community First School.
What does that tell you about her if she's not smiling? Yes.
She's being serious.
She's very serious. Yes.
I think we're lost something. Or she's looking in her head. There's something that she's afraid of, I think. Because Boudica died and that was one of her bravest warriors.
How do you know that Boudica's died?
Because I saw her bottom poisons when I was cleaning out the stable.
You saw her bodies when you were cleaning out the stables. Do you think you could show us how you tell her that news? Let's watch that.
When I was cleaning cow poo out of the stables, I found 3 bodies, Boudica and her daughters.
You know they were Boudica and her daughters? How?
Because I could tell by the clothes and the faces.
Could you tell what had happened to them?
There was a bottle of poison laying next to them.
A bottle of poison?
They poisoned themselves.
They poisoned themselves? Why would they poison themselves?
They left a note.
Have you got the note? They don't wish to be captured.
Yeah, by the Romans. That's why they killed themselves.
What do you think the chief should do now she's heard this information?
She should go and tell the Romans up there that she's gone somewhere.
Really? Yeah?
She should really go and check the bodies either.
Could you possibly take her to where the bodies are and show her where they are?
I saw that.
Yeah?
No, that one.
Wait. Why would
Because we can't see her anymore. Well, I think when they got into battles, right at the end, I think the Romans caught her and they were going to bring her back to slaves and whip her, so Boudica probably wouldn't have that, so she'd poison herself.
The children like that.
Boudica would not want to be taken by the Romans. I do know that.
Yeah, but...
advisors of the village. I need your help.
You can't give them the Queen because that she's our only hope of living.
Thank you.
We're going to have to tell a lie and say that we haven't got it.
We're going to have to tell a lie. Right.
I think we should go into battle against the Romans.
Why?
We can't just let them take over us like that. We've got to fight back.
I can think about it.
What you've got to think about is what are we going to advise the chief to do? What do we think, if we're the Iceni, what do you think we should do? Talk to the people sitting next to you.
No, but if we die, they won't be able to find her, would they?
No, but if we can't give away when we stare at her during the battle, we can give us enough. If we go to battle, though, we'll kill the Romans, and then...
We killed Romans before in the temple, didn't we?
Oh, so we should just go and fight them, whatever. What, just what? Because she's dead. Why should we fight her? But we'll all die, what?
So we can go down to the underworld with her.
You're right.
She is. We could take our children with us so they could fight with us, and then if we died, they would die with us so they would still be with us.
Take our children right into battle.
Yeah. But if we die, they won't be able to find us, and we'd go with her along with her.
Could we hide her then?
When the children grow up, they're going to be fighting then, so why can't they fight right now?
But if we die, we'll just go underground and still be alive.
We will kill ourselves with any of the bones go missing. 1 inch, we'll die straight away, we'll kill ourselves. Or just like they said, if any just like 1 bit go missing, we'll die. Because we want to keep our queen. We want to keep our queen, but if she goes to the Romans, we'll go with her.
So you are prepared to go to battle to protect her body?
Yes.
Well, Richard, I love this film. I love the intensity of this video, actually. What were your thoughts?
Yes, the children in your video, Tim, are really engaged in their learning in 2 ways, really. In role, taking on the identities of the various characters, and then stepping out of role to think about it, reflect, take decisions. Is there a particular approach to drama that underlies your work with these children?
Yeah, well, we're using or experimenting with a system called Mantle of the Expert, which is particularly to do with children working as if they are experts in a particular field. In Mantle of the Expert, they'll work as experts, as archaeologists in this case, although you didn't see them working as archaeologists there, but they explore the history as well. It's the content of what they're actually looking at, as well as their expertise in the now time.
In what way, Tim, do you think that making a video could help encourage others to get involved in something like this?
Well, video, I mean, capturing that kind of learning is very difficult, and we have lots of people who visit the school from different parts of the country, and they come and watch demonstration lessons and the learning that's going on in the school. But particularly video is very powerful, obviously, because it can reach a much larger audience. Not only that, but you can take quite a small part of the film and crystallise that down and say, well, that's what we're looking at there. That's the learning that's happening. That's the switch.
Yes, absolutely. Adrian, what are your thoughts of that, of actually crystallising small parts of a
It's
film
what
like that?
video can do superbly well,
Yes.
just taking an element. And because we are so visually aware, you know, you focus in on something like that. And I mean, it's a benefit both to the children and to the teachers when they're looking at what it is the children are learning.
Yes.
And just that boy who was able to go up to the chief and say that he'd seen Boudica's body,
Yes.
and his, you know, he was not quite looking at her, and yet he could speak as he would have done. It was a wonderful moment to be able to capture on video.
Well, for now, thank you very much indeed. Thank you, Tim. Now, though, we're going to look at our second teacher video produced by Lucy about music. Lucy, firstly, just tell me a little bit about your school and the aim of your video.
Well, my school's in North Norfolk. Reefham's a little market town. There's 210 pupils at the primary school. The film was mostly concerned with Key Stage 2, which is 120 Year 3 to Year 6
Right.
children. We introduced teaching music to all the Key Stage 2 pupils, giving them an instrument so that they could actually have their own instrument and they could play their own music. Only about 15 months ago, and less than a year ago to the Year 3/4s. And it's been so extremely popular, and they've wanted to learn so eagerly that we wanted to look into why this was and what exactly they were getting out of it.
Brilliant. So I'm very much looking forward to seeing it. So now let's look at Music All Around, produced by Lucy Kerr.
In our school, everyone learns to play a musical instrument. We learn to play our instruments in small groups at first. Then we play all together in the band with our friends. Learning with friends makes you want to practice so you can keep up.
1, 2, again.
When you play your instrument? Yeah, I feel like I'm flying and like I can fly and the wind's rushing on my face and I just feel different.
Right, do it on the G now then, yeah? Okay, I'll count you in 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, up, good.
Even when we're beginners, we know that you can do because we hear the older children play.
Some children don't like performing, but they are often good at ideas and composing. We have just started editing live music on the eMac with GarageBand. That's very popular.
Quiet, and then like pretty loud, because I couldn't hear the acoustic picking at all. I like composing my own because and especially with other people, so because then one brain's better than lots of brains put together is better than just one because they won't have such good ideas.
Yeah.
So,
but then they can talk among themselves and they get...
When we start learning the recorder, we mentor the younger children to give them confidence.
It's so easy to learn. You can learn songs quite quickly. Mostly we learn an instrument because it's fun and it makes us work together. It doesn't matter what else you can or can't do because we can all play music.
Hi, I'm Alice and I play the cello. Do you feel different when you play your cello? Yeah, because it kind of makes me feel that everyone's here and, you know, everyone can listen to it.
So if you were playing a guitar, for instance, and you were playing a guitar recorder, if you wanted to go back playing a recorder, you'd already know half the tunes and the places to put your fingers.
Learning the recorder first makes it easier to try other instruments later because you know how to read the music a bit.
Stand the recorder.
Yeah. That's all I did, really.
What I thought was hard was that you had to really quickly change your fingers.
Yeah.
why do you like band?
I like band because I like music and it sounds really good when everyone's playing together.
What did you think about the teachers learning to play?
It was quite good because then if they're talking about music to someone, then they know more about it so that they know what we're saying. Mrs. Kerr asked us how we thought that learning music this way helped the other subjects we learn.
Yeah, a lot. So you know how to play stuff.
Yeah, because like if we need to get some music, then we can play it. And
yeah, it's like you don't need sound effects.
Also, notes probably helps you read more, and when we're doing a play, when you're doing the script, you learn more because
you know the music and what it's like.
And we need to learn the words for the play as well, and like learning songs boosts our memory.
Yeah.
So helps us remember the words.
And we wrote the script, so
and that got our English up. So it's a lot of good stuff.
We think it makes us more motivated, gives us confidence, and means that we enjoy working together.
we sing as well.
This is our aerobic warm-up for singing sea shanties. We've just performed our own musical, The Sea Child, at Norwich Playhouse.
Well, Adrian, I absolutely loved this film. What did you think?
Well, I was so enthusiastic.
It was
and
great.
I really wanted to ask Lucy how that was all set up. I mean, how much was it the children and how much was it you?
Well, when we started, I told the children all about the project and I asked them how we could do it. And it was actually their idea to do it with video diaries. And with they filmed some of my teaching of class music. And they filmed their own video diaries. I just showed them how to set it up. And then they watched their own video diaries, and out of that came a whole lot more discussion. So I've then filmed one of their discussion sessions.
Richard, I'd just like to bring you in here, and it's quite interesting that there wasn't a teacher's voice in this particular video. What was your take on that?
Yes, it was wonderful evidence, I thought, of the involvement of children in their learning and in their reflecting on learning, their ability to talk about their learning and use the video to talk about the learning.
Yes.
I thought the video was a wonderful example of how using video can capture the process of children's learning.
What about the impact that this video has had on your colleagues? What's the feedback been?
Oh, it's caused quite a lot of discussion, partly because, of course, it's the children's opportunity to say what they like about their lessons. Yes. We've been impressed by how seriously they've taken the whole project and the help they've given us in knowing how they feel about it. Again, a lot of them said they did it because they enjoy music, but also a lot said they did it because it was very homely.
Yes.
And it gave them a sense of belonging.
That's lovely. It has a wider impact. Richard, what do you think about that comment that Lucy's just made?
Yes, I think that's really important. I mean, my own experience of music at school was of being told that I had no ability for it. And so it really strikes a chord with me, I mean, literally, that it's something that's inclusive, as you said, not just for the children, but for the teachers as well. And it's something that has an impact across the curriculum. In terms of children's confidence and self-esteem. So I think it's tremendous.
Wonderful. Well, now we're going to look at our final teacher video produced by Sarah. Sarah, perhaps could you tell us a little bit about your school and the aim of your video?
It's the school is a primary school in West Cornwall. We've got about 210 children, including a nursery. And the video really is part of an ongoing research project we have in school, looking at ways of developing children's ability to be more reflective about their learning and taking more responsibility for it rather than being teacher-led.
OK, great, thank you. Well, now let's look at peer assessment in the primary school, produced by Sarah Trenier.
Well, our school had identified underachievement in all ability groups, and we looked for ways to address this. We became involved in the campaign for learning, and the aspect of the 5 R's that they've identified as being absolutely vital to learners was reflectiveness. So reflectiveness became our school focus. One aspect of self-assessment that children have enthusiastically adopted is 2 stars and a wish.
2 stars and a wish is when you have the stars are basically things that are good about your work, and the wish is something that you could improve.
It's like a critical thing what your partner does.
If you get a star, it means that you're proud of your work. And if you've got a wish, it means that
you want to do something a little bit better.
The main point of 2 Stars and a Wish is that it focuses on the actual learning intention of the lesson. I find children tend to get bogged down with the presentation of their written work, and they'll judge their success on their handwriting or their spelling or how much they've actually written. Although presentation is important, when I'm assessing a child's ability in any subject, what I'm looking for is whether they've actually achieved the learning objective or not. Through any unit of work, we keep an ongoing steps to success chart. This is on constant display and acts as a reminder to the children about what a good piece of work should contain, this example being for play scripts in literacy. In referring directly to the toolkit, the children are able to focus on the key aspects of a good play script. This helps them be specific in their feedback about how their partner could actually improve their work.
The first thing I'm going to ask you to do is just remember all of the things that we've got in our toolkit that would make a good play. Abigail.
Names of characters on the left-hand side of the page.
Now I'm going to ask you to tell me what you think is good about this work, okay, using the toolkit to help you, but I also want you to give me examples. Hannah, what did you notice?
We've got the names of the characters on the left-hand page.
Right, we've got the names of the characters on the left-hand side of the page. Can you come up here a minute, Hannah, and show us exactly what you mean by that? Those are 2 stars then. How could we improve this play? What would make it even better than it actually is now? We've just been told that this play could have more adverbs to help us say the line, and I want you to tell me how. Keris.
When she says yes, but I don't know, she can say it tearfully.
Right, that's a nice one. Would you like to put that in then, please? The children are encouraged to suggest how their wish could be acted on. The wish here was to include more adverbs, so they're suggesting examples of how this could be done. They then give oral and written feedback on their partner's work and are given time to respond to each other's suggestions before writing the final draft. What happened when Bryony gave you your 2 stars and a wish?
Well, for my wish, she said next time you could put more adverbs in your scene. Like, angrily. So when I went back, I did what she said and I put a few more adverbs in there.
In Key Stage 1, feedback often comes orally from adults, who, in modelling 2 stars and a wish through discussion with children, are actually teaching them the skills of giving feedback. In Year 1, these children are practising the skills of giving feedback during the plenary part of a session.
Max, what did you give Tyler a star for?
For the capital I and the I like that.
Excellent, so using capital I, because we worked a lot on that, didn't we?
As a class teacher, I use a lot of peer assessment in my lessons. I think it helps the children to become more responsible for their own and each other's learning, and you get a real feeling of teamwork and cooperation in the class.
I like it because I like hearing what my friends like to say.
Jamie marked mine once and said he couldn't find a wish for it, which sometimes it can
That's
make you
what-
feel really pleased.
When we do it, it actually means that we get to teach each other.
The teacher's a bit like Simon Cowell. Because Simon Cowell's like really bossy.
Right.
And the teacher's a
And
bit
he's kind of the expert on everything.
Like teachers.
And everybody else, like, on the stage is, like, the people who are learning. So we're the people on the stage and the teacher's Simon Cowell.
Yeah.
So
Again, it's not very nice.
So the people on the stage would rather hear feedback from other people rather than
Yeah,
from Simon
like the
Cowell.
crowd, but with us it's your partner.
Yeah.
That's a good way of explaining it.
Richard, what were your takes on the film, having seen it?
Well, I thought it was very interesting, and I noticed that it was a whole school project, and it started like that. It wasn't one that you started as an individual and then tried to spread to colleagues.
No, it's come through the research that we've been doing for the Campaign for Learning.
Right.
So we went into it all definitely as a whole school approach, and how we deal with it within each class is obviously different. But it is definitely something we do all the way through the school.
What was the evidence at the end of the research project about its impact?
Well, we haven't really reached the end of it yet. It's still an ongoing thing. We started it about this time last year, I'd have thought, so we've had a year now to get this 2 Stars and a Wish up and running. And I mean, working with the same children, I can definitely see that they are more able to talk about their learning. They've got the language, they can share ideas with each other. When we started, they were mainly looking for handwriting and spelling, and if I'd say to them, you know, how can you improve your work, they'd say, oh, well, I need to check my spellings, or you need to write more. If you talk to them now, they'd be able to use learning objectives, they'd be able to use the toolkit, and they'd be able to be quite explicit about how they could improve their work or even their partner's work. So the dialogue between children is definitely developed.
That's very interesting.
And on a personal level, Sarah, how did you find actually making the video itself? I'm sure it's not something that you probably do every day at school. What was the process like for you?
It was very interesting. When you're a class teacher, you kind of get into what your class is doing. Being in year 3 and 4, I kind of am in the middle of things, but I don't really get to see what they do in the infants or up at, you know, upper key stage 2. So it was very interesting to go into classrooms and see how they approach it.
You've all brought along fantastic pieces of learning, or videos that show pieces of learning. Where does it go now?
Well, we've definitely got it planned in for looking at in January for staff inset. But what we're looking at is the process of children reflecting on their learning, which we intend to do with another research project we're involved in with drama.
And also, I mean, the film that we showed for this programme was one film that we made. We actually made many films, and a lot of those films are films that we show back to the children as an ongoing conversation in assessment. And it's very interesting, the work that that's going on in Cornwall is the same kind of thing, of looking at video and assessing their own work and giving them that other perspective.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I think we've probably only just begun the discussion about the potential of teacher video, but I'm afraid we have to end it there. If you want to find out more, or you're interested in producing your own teacher video, you can go to our website at teachers.tv. It only remains for me to say goodbye and thank you to our guests, Tim Taylor, Lucy Kerr and Sarah Trenier.
Goodbye.
And Adrian Jones and Richard Hatcher.
Goodbye.
And from myself, Fenella George, thank you for joining us and goodbye.